So this is why he was in search of a deeper, like I said, experiential religion, not just belief system. So he was wandering around and came across Ramakrishna. He didn't want to visit him in the beginning. So he's a rustic man, a temple priest. What can he tell me? I will study all the philosophy of the Western world. What can this guy teach me? So he wouldn't go near him. And one day he went there. A wonderful story, wonderful encounter. And listened to Ramakrishna. He seemed like a good man, talking sensible stuff. But at the end, he took out his arrow that he had sharpened and fired at Ramakrishna. Sir, you talk about God. Have you seen God? This is a killer. In fact, I tell all the Hindus in modern India, you are following this and that guru or this and that prophet or this and that, whatever. They call themselves with all these labels. Go and ask them this question. Sir, you talk about this. Have you seen God? We're just talking about it. Just waffle. Just kind of doing narratives. Have you seen God? Ask them. Go and ask them. I'm telling you, challenging you. Go and ask them. All of them will be knocked out. Not a single one will put his hand up and say, yes, I know. So when Vivekananda Narendra fired this question, he expected some waffle, like Devendra Tagore. Instead of that, this Ramakrishna up to the mark said, my boy, I see God more clearly than you now. You see, when you say, if he said, yes, I see God, that's it seems like a cop-out. He says, see more intensely than I see you. You are fuzzy. Straight away, that is taken away. That makes sense. If you see God offering much more intense experience than me seeing you, this guy hit it. In the second fire, the thing that came back from Ramakrishna Vivekananda was this, my boy, I can show her to you. Nobody says stuff like that. So first Narendra thought this guy is mad. But after a few meetings, he realized he was a real master, a great master. Not only establishing good experience, he's able to pass on this good experience to anybody he likes. Mere glance, he can lift anybody to hit the jackpot. Look at this little tiddler here. So it's the power to influence people, to give them, if you like, this high spiritual experience. If you ask for it, he'll give it to you. If you ask for anything else, he will give you nothing. Warning you. Don't even do any, offerings. I'll do this, I'll offer this and this to you. He will say, go away. In fact, he will not give you what you're asking for. So don't ask anything from him except good experience. So this is how this Narendra got caught. But not only Narendra. There were about half a dozen youngsters, 16, 17, 18-year-olds who were attracted to him. He was talking sensible stuff in a very genuine, sincere manner, establishing good experience. So when a person with good experience talks, his language, his words, his mannerism will hit the target. The audience will say, oh, yes, yes. But most people interested in worldly affairs will run away. So during his time, Keshav Chandra Sen, the head of the Brahmo Samaj in Calcutta, was very popular, great speaker, great orator, and 5,000 people gather around and applaud him when he speaks. But this Ramakrishna, dozen youngsters floating around, penniless chaps. That's all. This is what the sign of spirituality. Not money-oriented, not intellectual gymnastic, genuine experience, established. And only those who are interested in that will go near him. So during his lifetime, in fact, one of the interesting is Keshav Chandra Sen, the head of this Brahmo Samaj, once a few times visited him and said, my God, what I'm talking about is experiencing. So he told his followers, this guy is actually experiencing what I'm giving lectures about. I'm just giving lectures. He's actually established in that. And that's why somehow he got caught up. A lot of people started visiting. But again, you look at the people and say, for worldly reasons, he will not interact with them. This is the story of Sri Ramakrishna. Just a dozen youngsters became his devout devotees. And this is how the movement progressed. If that had not happened, I would not have heard his name today.
So how did this message get around to the world?
With great difficulty. It's not even getting through now, as you can see. It's a great pity. Do you know why? I keep talking, Manish, I talk about religion that is contemporary, is suitable for our age now, is comprehensive, not just saying, okay, this sectarian movement and not that sectarian, not this religion, that religion. It is non-sectarian, is comprehensive. Most contemporary, modern vision, most comprehensive vision, and most rational, sensible vision, structured vision comes from Ramakrishna in his life story. So this is the reason why very few people can relate this deeper vision. And I keep mentioning this, oh Hindus, wake up. It's nice to hang on to your ancient avatars, nothing wrong with them. But the image you created about them is so polished up, it's not real anymore. Here is a real person with words and everything. In your lifetime with photographs, you can see his photographs, you can see photographs of Vivekananda. Here is a modern prophet, contemporary one, giving the same message of the ancient rishis in your time, in your own language, suited to this age and suited to the whole world. Comprehensive to that extent. Why don't you open your eyes and look at this man and see the modern vision, the contemporary vision of your tradition, most comprehensive vision? So that is why in our little way, we keep plugging away the teachings of Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda, using our own these gizmos that we possess.
Sir, so he used to go into deepest meditation just by hearing. We don't see any other person able to go in meditation at all. I mean, we don't see anyone experiencing samadhi.
At the present stage, if you ask me very bluntly, is there any person of this caliber in India or anywhere in the world? I would say, no, my friend. I'm very open-minded. If there was one, I would go and sit at his feet. In fact, when Maharishi Mahesh Yogi came to London first time, I think it was 1967 or 68, and he gave a lecture at Hilton Hotel in Parkland. And I was a youngster, in search of spirituality. And I already experienced some deep ideas. I said, let me go and listen to him. In 5 minutes, I said, this man doesn't know anything. He's just flower power. Hippie stuff. There's no depth. So I do not know anybody at the moment on the scene who can even say they've got 1% of the experience of Sri Ramakrishna. Let me tell you something else about him. Here is a man who has turned Brahman into a personality to play with. So he's able to reconcile idea of God as Nirgun Nirakar, Brahman, as well as Sagun Sakar. See, reconciliation at a very deep level, first-hand experiential. 1 minute you'll be talking about Mother Goddess, next minute you'll be talking about I am the Brahman, I am established Brahman, I am Atman. Next minute you say, I'm playing with Brahman, with Mother Goddess. He was able to switch from Nirgun Nirakar to Sagun Sakar like that. In fact, the story is interesting. Let me touch on this. Once he will start interacting with Mother Goddess, one day a great sage, a great sadhu entered the temple and singing gloriously the Vedic slokas. And he looked at Ramakrishna, young man there. He said, this man is suitable for the knowledge I possess, Advaita Vedanta. With me and Brahman are the same, Atman and Brahman are the same. I am established in that knowledge, I am fit in that knowledge, let me pass this knowledge. This boy is so good, I must pass it on. By looking at his face, I know he's suitable. So I will definitely give this knowledge to this boy. He said, my boy, I can teach you Advaita Vedanta, the highest Hindu philosophy. Would you like to study? Would you like to study with me? And Ramakrishna, like a little child, I told you, he's guileless. He said, let me check with my mummy. He said, a grown-up man, he want to go and check with his mummy whether I can give him this highest knowledge? And the name of the sadhu is Totapuri. He said, let him go. Well, let's see, what a weird chap. And ran into the temple, came back saying, yes, you can teach me because my mother said she has brought you here. And this Totapuri said, nobody asked me to come here. He said, his mother has brought me here. I don't know, he's a nut, but let me teach him. So he said, okay, we are going to touch on the deepest vision of Hinduism, that you are the spirit, Atman. I'm going to give that knowledge. So the disciple and the guru decided to start the journey. Early morning, Ramakrishna took a bath, went to see him in a little hut near the temple. We sit in the hut, said Totapuri, and focus now. He asked Ramakrishna to close his eyes, focus between the eyebrows, and go into deep meditation, just focusing on the eyebrow here, between the eyebrows. And after a few seconds, Ramakrishna came out saying, I can't. Totapuri said, why not? He said, my mother keeps coming. What mother? He said. Again, focus there. Then Totapuri picked up a piece of glass that was in the time. In huts in India, you can find everything there. Piece of glass and made a mark in the forehead. Said, now focus there. Oh, the pain. See the pain? Focus on that. No Mother God, no mummy is here. And Ramakrishna closed his eyes, and these are his words. He said, the moment I close my eyes, I see the Mother Goddess coming up. And I took the sword of discrimination, saying, no Mother Goddess today. Boom. Cut her. Can you imagine? Cut Mother Goddess. At the moment I did it, I went to deepest meditation. And I experienced myself with the spirit. This was natural. He's already touched Brahmagnan. So Atmagnan is not a big thing for him. But he went like that, boom, instantaneously. So Totapuri said, it took me about 14 years to master this. And this guy is going to in 2 seconds. Weird fellow. And he said, let me leave him. So he left him there. He actually locked the hut so that nobody disturbs him and walked away. Even second day, still sitting in deep meditation, face radiant with Atmagnan. Totapuri said, this is incredible. What took me tens of years, this guy achieved in 2 minutes. Then again he closed the door, went the third day, and still he's sitting in deep meditation with Atmagnan. So Totapuri now got worried. He said, I've sent him off. He's not going to come back to the body now. This is not right. So he tried to wake him. He started, loudly saying, this idea of Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat in his ear to wake him up. And after a lot of Hari Om Tat Sat, this Ramakrishna opened his eyes. Yes, and I know. Totapuri said, my boy, cried, tears flowing. He said, my boy, what took me so many years, you achieved instantaneously. Why? And the answer from Ramakrishna is very simple. My mommy made it. See the reconciliation of Advait and Dvait in one lifetime. And this is the beautiful story of Sri Ramakrishna, jumping from Dvait to Advait, from Nirgun Nirakan to Sagun Sakar, and touching on all the various religions at the same time.
We understand that he practiced and tested these various Hindu pathways, as we see Advaita Vedanta there, to see what they lead to. Can you say something about this?
Yes, he tried almost every pathway the Hindus have been prescribing. First, one of the other teacher he had was called Bhairavi Brahmani. Now she was, kind of practicing, the idea of Tantra Marg. Now Hindus call it the Vama Marg, means the left-handed path of making spiritual progress. It's kind of vilified, saying that it's to do with sex and getting drunk and all that. So people shy away from it. I agree with them, you should shy away. It's not the main pathway. But this Bhairavi came to teach him Tantra, and Ramakrishna said, no problem, I checked with my mommy, you can teach me. And this is not easy. He didn't drink wine, he didn't participate in sexual activity, but by mere, kind of instantaneous touch, he was able to use the tantric mark, because we vilified it unnecessarily. Tantra simply says, keep away from the idea of aversion and attraction. Every time we see the universe, we immediately kind of classify it as attractive or avert it, go away from it. Tantra mark is saying, if you can rise above it, this is what the idea of Tantra is really, then you can become spiritually enlightened. So the very thing that kind of makes us kind of become like an animal, if you can control it, it'll take you to the spiritual dimension. And this Ramakrishna tried. So in fact, Ramakrishna tried the Vaishnava pathway, the Shaiva pathway, the every different pathways, Madhur Bhav, Bal Bhav, every Vatsalya Bhav, every Bhav you can think about in Hindu tradition, he tried out, and he reached the same destination with all of them. My friend, I can simply conclude by saying, if you're not coming across the story of Sri Ramakrishna and what he stands for, you've missed the point. This is the modern, clearest vision of spirituality. And we've talked about it in brief, but you can explore it in detail by going to a YouTube channel and looking at the playlist called Sri Ramakrishna Story. There are lots of colorful stories there.